Inspirational talk. Everyday people. Inspirational talk. Intentional choices. Inspirational talk. Extraordinary outcomes. It's Inspirational Talk with Toneal. Now here's your host, International Award-winning author and filmmaker, Toneal M. Jackson.
Hey guys, it is me, your International Award-winning author and filmmaker, Toneal M. Jackson, and I am back. And I'm not by myself, right? So it has been a few weeks. We've been on hiatus, but we just gave you a chance to breathe a little bit, gave me a chance to turn another year older, and to bring an incredible guest with me here today. And so I am so excited to have her here. And some of you already know who she is, but by the end of this show, if you don't know who she is, you will know. I am so honored to share the screen, so to speak, with my guest tonight, Miss Ovita Ivey. How you doing, ma'am?
I'm doing absolutely wonderful. I'm so excited, as you all can see.
Yes,
I'm in my child mode.
Come on. I'm so glad to have you on. Now, for the people who have been under a rock, please let them know who it is that you are.
Yes, I am Vita, which is going to be my talk show. It's called Vita Talks because I've been born to talk because I talk a lot. So I thought that was befitting for me, Ovita Talks. I love to share. Sometimes I might overshare, but it's from the heart. It's from the heart. So, so I'm starting my launch tomorrow, which is the 21st from 6 to 9 on www.internetradio.com. You all, my message is going to be to the human, for the human experience. It's not going to be the beat. We got enough shows that's talking about putting us against each other. I want to build us up. I want us to take accountability for ourselves. I want us to work on ourselves so we can have a better life. I want men to be in a safe place where they can express themselves along with women respectfully. That's my desire. I want to be open for women, boys, girls, middle age. I think in our age, in the 40s, we're going through certain changes in our lives. And so I do want to be relatable to everyone that has ear to hear and that can understand the what I'm saying and what I'm putting out.
I love it. So, guys, as you just heard Vita say, she is going to be launching her own podcast. So, Vita is a podcaster. And so, being a podcaster, it is an incredible experience because, number one, you get an opportunity to experience another side of you, and it may not be a different side. It may be an expansion of the side that they already know. For some people, they'll get a chance to see you in a totally different light. But before we go even further into that, let's kind of just talk about you first. Like, what were your experiences that led you to that point, right? So, like, let's start at the beginning, right? So, you, Ovita Ivey, who are you? Like, if somebody said to describe you, are you a mom? Are you a wife? Are you an entrepreneur? Like, who are you?
Well, I am a mother. I'm a daughter. I've been in the healthcare field for over 20 years. My business has been people for over 20 years. My mom, I was raised in church. So, of course, speeches and going in front of people singing, all that got me prepared to be in front of people. I'm a church babe. My mother, grandma was the mother. My uncle is a so I'm all intertwined into all of that. So with that being said, I'm a caregiver. I'm a CNA. I work with the state with disabled and elderly and people. I also am a substance abuse counselor. I work with inmates, and I love it. I love. They are so respectful. People look at people. Some of them really didn't do drugs. They just took the lesser charge. But still, those who did, I still work diligently to prepare whatever I needed for them every day. I love making a difference and having them think about what are you doing in your community? What are you doing to your community? You
Mm.
know, a lot of people do things, and because it's not their family, they don't feel the sting of it. But when it turns around and you because of your actions, someone's mother passed, or someone, you know, a lady that I know just dropped dead in the street because she had a bad reaction to drugs. And that day was like over 200 people who died off the same thing. So I could use those stories to tell them. So I'm just a person that I have a heart for people. I have a heart for God. I just want to help. And also I take care of my dad. I took care of my mom when she had cancer. So I'm a caregiver. I'm a nurturer. Bad trade, just bad birth. That's what I do. I'm a big sister. I have sisters and brothers. I'm an aunt. You know, I'm just, that's me. I just love to make a difference. And I believe I'm here to
Love
do
that.
that.
I love
Yeah.
that. Like, I love when we know there's nothing better than like not just knowing your purpose, but knowing that you're walking in it. And that's what it sounds like.
Yes,
It sounds
ma'am.
like you really kind of know, hey, this is what I'm here for. Now, like, what
Yeah.
gave you, what inspired you to become a caregiver? Like, was there any particular thing? Because there are some
Yeah.
people where they had a life experience that led them to go down this path. Like, what
Yeah, it
inspired
was.
you to do that?
My mom actually got multiple myeloma, cancer. And so I had to leave my job because it was a lot. I was going out to work, and my mom had younger children. So I was helping her with her kids, and I was going to work and then had to come home and help her. So I transitioned from that job to being her home care giver, which I can give her all the attention that I needed to give her and pay my bills. So
Mm.
that started. You couldn't have told me that I wasn't working in nobody's office. I wasn't wearing those suits, that I was washing people up, and I don't mind and
Mm.
doing that. You couldn't have told me I was going to be doing that. But that's what led me into doing that, and I love it. I don't. I know people call CNAs their little acronym, but when I could go in your home and I could oil your skin and comb your hair, you might want to wear some makeup, and I could make you look brand. I match the hair, I match the little bonnets with the little gowns, the socks, the stuff. I mean, I put their little lipstick on, honey. They feeling good, and make sure that area looks good as well. And
Yeah,
when I leave out, like, oh my God, I love. They crying. When you coming back? And I love it. I
that is
love.
awesome. That is awesome. Like, I have that similar experience. My mom also passed away from cancer. I was her
Yeah,
caregiver as well. And
yeah.
there's something
Oh,
special about people who are caregivers because there's so much sacrifice that it entails,
it is.
right? Like,
Oh
you
God.
kind of stop
Yes.
living. And I don't know
Yes.
if that's also your testimony, because that's how it was
Yes.
with me. I mean, I didn't necessarily mind it, but being
Yeah.
there all the time for her
Yes.
kind of became my priority. Can you relate to
Yeah.
that?
Oh my gosh. Even now, I can't even go on. I take care of. I can't even go on vacation because I have to get her medicine. And sometimes, because I've been in this field a long time, you could have 23 children and one might show up. And sometimes it was just me
Yeah,
that was the replacement child and niece, So yeah, I can't really move around like I want to. And you know what? Sometimes being a caregiver is a job that's people are not really thankful because they don't grateful because they don't understand level of sacrifice that you make to
goodness.
do this job, especially when you're working for family. I think they
Yes.
are some of the most hardest people to work for, because you're that family. Like, I'm his daughter, so he don't you don't say.
Yeah.
So I'm like, listen
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
got
I
to
think because
behave.
I think sometimes it's like the spirit of entitlement, like you're just supposed to do this. You're
Yes,
supposed to
that's it.
want to. You're
Yes,
supposed to, and it's like you said, at the end of the day, it turns into a job because now
yes,
it's not just that I'm doing it. I mean, like with my mom, I never really felt like it was a job in like just the
right.
interaction with us, but the work that you have to do because you're
Yes,
going around the clock. You know what I'm saying? It's not
yes,
like you can just
yes.
punch in, punch out, and
No,
then you're done. So
yes.
hats off to you, because I do actually know what you go through, and I know
Yeah.
it's not easy. It may be
No.
very rewarding, but you're
Yeah.
definitely not appreciated. Like what it
No.
is that
No.
people just kind of tend to take you for granted. And so,
Ooh.
that's one of those things that is so good that you say you have a relationship with God, because that's where the reward really comes from.
Yeah.
Where you
Yeah.
know what, I'm doing a good job. And so, what keeps you acting in that role, right? Because some people would say, okay, I could understand her doing it for her mom or for her dad, but what gives you
Yeah.
the heart or the motivation to do it for others?
Well, when I go in people houses and, like I went in the house of this lady and it was just really bad off and she had someone there for 8 hours a day. And I went out, I said, what? Her stuff was it was just wasn't clean. It smelled. She
Yeah.
wasn't put together. So when I went in there and I cleaned, I don't mind. I turned that bed over. I know I did stuff that I wasn't supposed to do, but it
Mhm.
had to be done. And I combed her hair and I made the area smell good. And she looked so pretty when
Mhm.
I left, and she cried.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
cried. And she loved her home caregiver now. She
Mhm.
loved her. But when I left, she cried because I don't know if people understand that your environment is
Mhm.
alive. If
Yeah.
you're in an environment that's cluttered, it's not clean, it's just things that kind of weigh you down. But when it's clean, it
Mhm.
smells good, you smell good, they're so happy and
It changes
appreciative and
the
they
energy.
feel. It does. So
Yeah.
doing things like that makes me feel great. And even I have different when I come in and they're difficult and I'm just nice to them. And by the time I leave, they soft as a teddy bear. They hard as and roaring like a lion. I'll be like, so what else you need? What you need me to do for you? They so nice when I leave, and some is still like a lion when I but that's
See?
okay. So that when I tell you that makes my heart happy
Mhm.
when I'm
Mhm.
able to make a difference with people. I even love doing stuff for young people. Had young clients and stuff like that. I play with them. By the time I'm go, we cool. I'm that cool. I say if a young person say they want to be around me, I did my job.
Yes. Come on. Come on. I love it. And you say you're not just a caregiver, but you say you also help those with substance abuse. What got you
Yes,
involved
ma'am.
with that?
Well, what got me involved in that? My body said no, no more with lifting people and stuff, and I had an opportunity to become a drug counselor. I had to let it go because my dad lost his sight at the beginning of the year, but I still was
Okay.
able. I'm still am that. I'm going to become
Mhm.
back active in that soon, but it's still, even though I wasn't cleaning anyone, I still was able to encourage them brothers. I
Yeah.
still was able to reach the ones that I reached, and I did all I could. I put my all. I didn't just read the stuff off the paper. I went home and studied that stuff. I broke down words, and I wasn't appreciated for that, but I didn't care because
Mhm.
if I can say something so they won't go out in the streets and do the same thing, or so they won't sell, just think before you
Yeah.
sell drugs. If I can help you with some coping skills when you want to go run back to the alcohol or to whatever that you have an addiction to, if I can make a difference with that, that translated over to that. So it still made me feel good at the end of the day.
That's awesome. That is awesome. And so, if you are just now tuning in, my guest tonight is the one and only Ovita Ivey. She is absolutely incredible. She's a caregiver.
Thank you.
She helps people with substance abuse, and she's about to launch her very own podcast tomorrow, in fact. And so, we are
Yes.
totally excited about that. All types of
Thank
hand
you.
clapping, hand raising. We doing
Yes.
all of that for you.
If I
Send
could
you
do a
nothing.
cartwheel, I
Come
would.
on, come on. We are sending nothing but good vibes. And I want to kind of transition now to talk about that, because this is going to be something totally new for you. Because normally, you're dealing with people hands on, but when you do your podcast, now you're going to kind of be like behind the mic, so to speak, right? So
Oh my God.
it's okay. Just
Oh,
you,
my phone died. I'm gonna
it's
have to get
okay.
off this live, you all.
It's okay.
Oh no, my
So what
phone
we'll
did
do,
not.
it's okay. It's okay, guys. So what we're gonna do is we are going to allow Ovita to get herself back situated. And it is okay. Let me tell you something. This is something that she is going to also learn. And being a podcaster, you always expect the unexpected, and you're always prepared for it. But it is okay. And so again, what I will do is I will take this moment to kind of just tell you all what you can expect in watching Inspirational Talk with Toneal. We host or we welcome guests who are everyday people living extraordinary lives, making intentional choices, right, to be their best selves. And so you may be one of those individuals who you want to be a guest on this show. It's not about the titles, it's not about the prestige, but if you are someone who wants to share some inspiration, you have a story, you have a moment that you'd like to share, then be sure to connect with us here on this show. And you can be a guest just as Miss Ovita is. And I think that she is back again. So, again, if you would like to be a guest on the show, go ahead and send an email to TanealJackson@yahoo.com. And so now at this time, we are going to welcome back to the show Miss Ovita Ivey. Hello, ma'am. How are you?
My other phone went dead. I'm glad I got this back up.
That's all, and that's always what we do. We always have backups, right? And here, this
Yes,
is actually a great problem to have because
yes,
you're about to launch your very own podcast. So what this
yes.
teaches you is to always expect the unexpected, right?
That's
And
it.
always be
Yes.
prepared. So let us go right into it. We're talking. It's going to be Ovita Talks or Vita Talks,
It's
and
gonna be
so
good time. Yep.
Vita Talks. So let's kind of let the listeners know what they can expect. I know you said it's going to be like an everyday show. We're going to be talking about relationships and things like that. So
Yeah.
let's just kind of do a mock run through, if you will.
Yes.
So this is Vita Talks. Now I'm
Yes.
gonna give you the microphone. I'm gonna put you on here, and we're gonna have you just do like a mock run through of Vita Talks.
Yes.
So go ahead, and why don't you
Yes.
give it to the people?
Hey, 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 everybody. This is Vita Talks. I'm with WSWT Internet Radio, where we're about the community. We're about building up the human body. We definitely about building up our Black community as well. So what's been on me lately, especially women of all ages, but in my age group, I'm 47. I don't mind saying that. A lot of us dealing with a lot of changes, relationship changes. Our children are grown. We might have grandchildren. We're going through changes in our bodies and stuff like that. So, like one of my changes, I've had a shift. I had a recent breakup, and I'm okay. It was a it was a good thing. But with that breakup, what I did was I analyzed Ovita. I could go and say, what that person did, or and I have a lot to say about that, but I had to search within. Because I'm a good woman, y'all. I'm somebody real. God made me for somebody, the right person. I'm a good hearted person. I know how to build my man up. I know how to do all those things. I was raised in church. All they told us is how to be a wife, but they didn't teach me how to date. So a lot of things I didn't know going out into the world when I finally went out there. I didn't know how to date. I didn't have certain expectations. I just was going out and I had a pure heart and I'm thinking everybody is truthful, everybody has your best interest. And I had to learn the hard way that was not true. I think we as women, and my motto is for men and women, I say men close your wallets and women close your legs. I know the culture is, try everything and let everybody try you. That does not work. I know women be like, "What you mean close your wallet? What you mean telling them men to close their wallet?" Because I agree that men should be traditional. If they ask you out on a date, they do all those like bring your flowers and treat them and stuff like that. Get to know. But when you start paying bills right away, they won't get to know you. When you start buying their kids something, when you start taking care of them already out the gate. This is for people who want a meaningful relationship. Some people don't mind transactional things. I'm not talking about them. But you allow people to get to know you as a person, and not what you do. Even women, we get out here, we are nurturers by nature, and we want to play the wife role right away, cooking and cleaning and letting them do it, whatever to us, and not having any requirements trying to prove ourselves to them when they should be proving themselves to you. Men love what they earn. They respect what they earn. I don't care if you give them a kidney. If it's not the right person for you, they would not appreciate that. So don't allow them to fall in love with your duties to them. Let them fall in love with you as a woman. Give things in increments. I know sometimes we being really, how could they? Now, if he not gonna do right, he need to leave me alone. No, don't give him that option. No, it's for you to make that decision. Because if you give people options, they're gonna keep on doing what they want to do and taking what they want to take.
That is
Okay, so
awesome, Ovita. That is
yes,
awesome. So look, guys, that was just a preview. I removed myself
yes,
that way y'all can kind of focus in on her. And that is
yes.
just a taste of what you will get when you tune in to Vita Talks. And so you said you are launching tomorrow. What time is it
Tomorrow.
going to be when you launch? What time will your podcast air?
It's going to be from 6 p.m. Central Time to 7. I'm only doing an hour. And our station is, you can download it, www.WSWT Internet Radio, where the host is Sadie L. Walker. She has given me a day. She let me co-host with her. She's training me. I mean, I appreciate her. So you all go follow her as well. She has things going on with NASCAR as a Black woman, you all.
Come on.
Our logo is going to be on all of their cars. She's working on a reality show, and these are things I'm able to be a part of. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm like, things are like domino effect. Like I
Mhm.
never thought this would be happening. It's such an amazing feeling. It has just been a month, so it's been like vroom, for me. So I'm excited. You all going on over there and tune in. We're gonna have fun too. We're
That
gonna
is
have fun.
awesome. That is awesome, and I am excited for you. And
Thank
just,
you.
in terms of the content that you're going to be bringing, real life conversation, because here's the thing, that's something that what you were talking about, men close your wallets and women close your legs. I think that that message needs to go around a little bit
Yes,
louder. And
yes,
again,
ma'am.
like you said, it's not about like frowning on traditionalism or
No,
men being men and being
no.
chivalrous and things like that. But like you say, what we're trying to do is eliminate shallow relationships.
Yes,
So for those who
yes,
are actually, as you said, and here it is, what I love, you identify your target audience. Hey, if you like transactional relationships, you're not who I'm
hey,
talking to. Keep
more
doing what
power to
you
you.
do. Right. Keep doing what you do. But for those of
Yes,
you who are tired, and again, it's men and women, because you have a lot
yes,
of men out here who mistakenly feel like they can buy you the world. So, like, if I buy
yes,
you not just dinner, but I buy stuff for you, I pay your bills, I do stuff for
yes.
your kids, that's gonna make you fall in love with me. But it's
No,
not. It's
it's
not. And
not.
on the flip side of it, you got women who feel like if I cook for you, clean for you,
Yes,
open my legs to you, then that
yes.
means I'm about to secure you. And
No,
baby, if he don't want
no,
you, it don't matter how
no,
you understand. So
no.
I love
I'm a
it.
witness.
I love it. Come
I'm
on,
a good woman. Let me tell y'all something.
talk about it.
I goes all the way out. I had someone that was in a particular, I'm not gonna situation. When I tell you I made myself available in any way that he needed me to be there. I mean, anybody who let me go, first of all, is a fool. And I could back that up. And you're a fool. So I'm saying, because you can't find real people out here that love you for you. I
Mhm,
wasn't after things. I wasn't after money. I loved in the beginning how he treated me, how he was so kind, and I love kindness and thoughtfulness.
mhm, mhm.
But he changed. He switched. He forgot. Now I'm there. We build people up, and
Yeah,
they get all up there and forget who was helping you laying them bricks, brother. You know what I'm saying? Who
it's
was
not-
helping you laying that foundation? Who was there for you in and out? But you know what? Too, like I said, my problem is I move in too fast. I fall in love too fast. I'm there too fast, and that's not good. You got to get to know people, because then your feelings get involved, and you ignore things, and
mhm.
you might build things up in your head. No, no. Don't give your loyalty right away. Be patient.
Yeah,
Let them. prove themselves to you. Men love what they earn. I know they think, like I said, you'll give them a kidney and they will leave you and marry someone else.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because here's another thing that we have to impress upon them, because I have 4 daughters. So, I got to work on me to try to, instill certain things to them. Like one of the things that my dad used to say all the time that I still feel to be proved to
Yeah,
be true, which is, why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free?
fine.
And,
Yeah,
a lot of times you have these women, like you said, what they do is they get in a relationship, and then,
yeah,
like, within a year, okay, this is my man, this is my
yeah.
husband. You're saying
Month,
it's your husband, but there's no ring on your finger. Y'all done,
none.
right? You done moved in, and that's how it
Yeah,
seems like you done moved him in. You done
yeah,
moved him into your place. And
yeah,
if you're just his girlfriend for 2 years, five
yeah.
years, 2 years, what
No,
is his incentive to marry
what is
you?
it? It's none. No.
So
Yeah, and they'll marry the person that will not hardly do anything for them.
yeah,
They
yeah,
would get them because they knew how to treat them. You got to know the game out. It is a game to be played, and we got to know
absolutely.
the game. You all women, we got to bring some respect back to ourselves. We got to be patient. Well,
Yeah,
women back then used to be a little patient. They knew how to drop. I mean, I know some circumstances, but they knew how to get married.
yeah,
I
yeah,
know people would be like, they had to get no. They still knew how to grab a husband. They
absolutely.
didn't date for 5 years and 2 years. They got married, and
Yep.
and everybody wasn't bad. Everyone didn't
Mhm,
get mad and had a bad experience.
mhm.
But yeah, we need to get drop from some of that old school and mix it with some new school. We need to have some discipline. We got to be more self disciplined. And
Yeah.
don't let our body parts control us. Don't let our emotions control us. Don't
Mhm.
I don't even lead with love anymore. It's in there, but it got to make sense to me.
Come on.
I got to see what you're doing
Come
because
on.
we are trained to be that way. And
Yeah.
that's not the way to do it. You got to let it make sense. And that's why you can't be sleeping with a person because then you can be sober minded.
Mhm.
You not feeling your emotions and you won't be so in a hurry just to let things go back.
Yeah.
We need to
Yeah.
be sober minded again and
Yeah.
be smart. We really do.
Absolutely.
We need to be smart with guard your heart.
Come on.
Like
Come on.
guard your heart, women. Guard your heart. Don't allow these people to make you look like a fool. Because
Come,
you're not. God gave us wisdom. He called wisdom her for a reason.
yeah.
We got all the power we need, but we got to have power to use it.
Come
We
on.
got to have power to use what we naturally have. So I
Mhm.
say, learn to love yourself. I say your things that you dealt with, go get help. If you're not a spiritual, everybody not is not spiritual. So you feel like you need to go to a therapist. Go and get those past wounds healed. Even though your father went there, we don't have those uncles to point to us. We
Mhm.
don't have those things. So sometimes things that has happened to us in the past and
Mhm.
even in these bad relationships. So take your time with yourself. Make sure
Absolutely.
you heal. So when you do move on and when you do get in a relationship that you coming in whole and you're gonna draw whole people. You're not gonna take any and everything with me. So I it's just so heavy on my heart. God, I know this, but you his daughters. He's
Mhm.
looking at you as precious. He's looking at you as you're more precious than rubies and diamonds, and carry yourself that way.
Mhm.
Carry yourself that way. You
Mhm.
don't have to be lonely. A lot of times we think a man, you can be lonely married.
Say that one. Say that
You
one.
could be laying next to a person y'all not relating every night. That don't mean you're gonna have sex every night. But even if you do have sex, what about the rest of the day? How
That's
how are they gonna treat you then?
that's
That's
it.
what you want. You
That's
want someone to really love and care for you. You were born to be cared for. You were born to be loved. You were born to be shown respect. Even me, and I taught my son when he was little, because they taught us we was in church that to be chaste. I said
mhm.
your stuff is old. Don't go sticking it in trash.
Yes, come, look, and I'm glad you said that, because I was actually going to interject and say this. Like, even though we are both women, the message that you're
Yeah,
giving is not just for women.
no,
And I think the
no,
problem is that we live in a society that has a mixed message. It's like, okay, you're
yeah,
telling all the women be chaste,
yeah,
holy, keep
No.
your legs closed. And I
Yeah.
don't mean you, I'm saying what society, the message
No,
that
I know what
society
you
gives for
said.
women is so like if you sleep around, then you're a whore or you're this or
Yeah.
you're that. But here's the thing, she not sleeping by herself. If she's sleeping
You
around,
better say that.
she's sleeping with somebody, and it's
Yeah.
not another woman. So it's like we have to impress upon the males the same
Yeah.
way. We have to let
Yeah.
them know the same thing. You also are precious.
Yeah.
You also
Yeah.
are, something that it should be perceived as valuable. Like
Yeah.
don't feel like that all you are is your wallet or is your man
Yeah.
parts. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly.
and if
You
we
more than
come on, and we got to give people to understand that it is a double-sided coin. It's not just
that.
okay, well, women only. No, because if both part, it takes two to tango. And like you
True.
say, you have a lot of women out here who don't value themselves, but guess what? You got a lot of men out here that don't value themselves either. And what they trying to do is get with the woman who all the men want to be with because it's an
Yeah.
ego thing. And then when you
Yeah.
go to try to marry her, guess what? She might not want to marry you because
Yeah.
once you stop paying her bills, then now you're not appealing to her anymore. So that's what we really, if we're talking about real talk, we talking about
Yeah.
real love, like you said,
Yeah.
before. That's what it's about. It's about understanding. Yes, love has a lot to do with it, but it's not just about love. When you were talking
No,
about the
not the
old
emotion.
school things,
Yes.
even if you go biblically, like a lot of this
Yeah.
stuff had to do with business. Like, are you good
Yeah.
at business? Are we gonna be able
Yes.
to build together? Can we grow
Exactly.
together? Can I pour
Yeah.
into you and you pour into me? It should not
Yeah.
just be a one-sided relationship because to me, that's really when relationships fail is when it
Yeah.
becomes one-sided.
One-sided.
Mm-hmm,
Was one-sided.
mm-hmm.
That, yes, I know all about that. One-sided relationships. And giving and giving of yourself until you're empty.
Yeah. Yep.
That's not a healthy thing. If you're giving to someone and
Mm-hmm.
you feeling empty and you tired at the end of the day, and you know that's the wrong individual. They just like it's some people that come in just to eat off your plate.
Girl,
Now you could be fine china. You could be fine china and they'll treat you like a paper plate.
come on. Come on,
And
and
they'll
one from the
touch
dollar
you.
store at that. Not even a
Yes.
healthy paper plate. Girl,
They
you
they'll
better
treat you. I mean, you got all that goodness, even a man. You got all this in you, and you feeding yourself to the wrong person. And all they doing is just eating off
yep,
your, they not replenishing, and
yep,
you're tired. You wonder why you don't feel well. You wonder why
yep,
you're looking a little older. You got them back. They're eating off of
yep,
you until they're done, and they will toss you to the side.
yep. And then you
Pay
stressed
attention to them.
out. Yep. Come on.
Yes.
It's a
When
lot.
somebody feeding into you, I don't care if you're going through a lot, it's different. You still feel good because they pouring into you. You all going through together. You're
Mm-hmm,
not pulling and pulling them. They building you up while you building them up. You
mm-hmm.
know, that's the way it's supposed to be. They not just supposed to be built up and then they be like, now they feeling themselves and they going on. They not even looking at what you've done. And they just for themselves. A lot of people nowadays are for
Yeah,
themselves.
yeah,
It's not about a relationship.
yep,
So that's why you got to make sure you're good so you
yeah.
can draw people. And if it's not right, leave it alone. You know, so many people don't want to be single about themselves. It's nothing like being miserable with the person.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. When first of all company ain't good company. Let's start there.
Listen,
And you said something earlier. You said you could be in the house with somebody and still
yeah,
feel lonely. So people
yeah,
need to understand you can get companionship from anybody. That don't mean that that's
yeah,
who you're supposed to marry, And
exactly.
I just it's so many good nuggets that you're dropping here. And what I kind of want to do, I want to just like structure it real quick because I'm just give me three good points. So we're talking about relationships, right? We're talking
Yeah,
about good ones, we're talking about bad ones. So
yeah.
give me your top 3 red flags. So, and let's say this before you even give them to me. For those of you who are listening, who tuned in, first of all, we've already talked about that if you love transactional relationships, we ain't talking about you. If you are not a person that's looking to get married, we ain't talking about you. So we are talking for people who are looking for wholesome, long-lasting relationships. Like this is what you need to look for, because a lot of times when people just looking with their lust, their lustful eyes, it's gonna get you in trouble. You just looking with your greedy eyes, is gonna get you in trouble. So for you, Miss Vita, give me 3, whether it's from you personally, what you've experienced, or just in general, 3 red flags. If you see these 3 things, step away from the relationship. Go.
Listen, if they're not done with their past relationship,
Ooh, girl, did you?
if they don't make, because so many people be like, that's my kids, and I be like, if that's your kid's mother,
come on,
why y'all not together? Your ex-wife, won't you need to be with them if that's your priority? Or when you get with somebody else, okay, and they giving themselves to you and y'all trying to go towards marriage, she is the most important woman in your life. Not that you should be I don't believe in disrespecting kids. I'm not about that. I respect that, and you should respect
priority level. Absolutely,
exactly. And you should be there for your children, whatever you need. But I'm saying, as far as that woman, her place should be solidified. If you're not ready, don't bring nobody in your life. If you're not over her, if you feel like she the best, whatever, don't bring nobody else in there. And pay attention to that women, how they treat you, and if they're in another relationship. And then I don't really date people. That's just my preference. I'm just, with young children most of the time. I have to really know that they're done. So pay attention to those other relationships.
And let me interject for you go to the second red flag, because I want to just add something onto that one. When she said, I don't date people with younger children, let me explain to y'all why. Because I don't want for nobody trying to guesstimate what she talking about. Because when you got kids that's like 2-3 months old, 2-3 years old, then guess what? That door might not be all the way closed because you just was with them. And this is whether it's a baby mama or a baby daddy. You was just with them. And then some people, especially if they in dysfunctional relationships, like they always say, okay, I'm done with you. But then they turn right back around 2 months later and they come right back. They see that you with somebody else. Now they done got jealous and like, please give me another chance. Heartstrings ain't cut off, girl. I'm just trying to tell you what I know. Heartstrings ain't cut. You still connected to the person, so it's easy for them to creep back there, whatever. So that's what she means. Like people got to kind of show you, okay, I know that my baby foe, but I promise you, I ain't been with the baby mama. I ain't been with the baby daddy. Like only come and see the child. Come, because when they little, and the fact that because they're little, you have to have some type of interaction to make sure they see each other. Once they get like 9, 10, 11, old enough to call on their own, then you can totally, remove yourself for the most part. But that's the reason why for people that's like, well, I don't understand because he just had a baby by, I know, or she just had a baby bound. But baby, if they just had a baby, you might want to wait a minute. Now go ahead. Red flag number 2. Go ahead.
Make sure they're thoughtful, and they're not selfish. A lot of people are self-centered. I do things like I tell them, like, I love flowers, and I just try to see if they're gonna give me. I think I got flowers one time, and when I did get them, it was somebody was there, and I felt like it was to show them. I didn't feel like it was sincere. I'm not gonna say they didn't do. Now, when I'm not gonna say they didn't do anything. They, like, if I would ask them something, they would do. But in my experience, that make sure they're thoughtful and they're not selfish. And it's those things like that. If they listen to you and they say you like flowers, I'm not saying you got to go spend $100, but they bring you flowers. That's a good thing. That means you could tell them something, they really paying attention, and they're gonna try to meet their needs. You know what I mean? So just make sure they're not selfish and they don't think about themselves all the time. And when you tell them, well, I like flowers, you mean they won't go buy you a $5 bouquet of flowers?
Look, so let me interject again and tell y'all what she's saying without saying it. She's saying if you see somebody that ain't just selfish, but even selfish to the point of narcissistic, so all it is
Yes.
about them all the time, and whenever it's about you, they only listening to you just for pleasant conversation, but they ain't actually
Yes.
holding on to nothing you saying. So you telling them my favorite color is purple, but you can't buy me a purple zip tie. You telling them I love flowers, but you can't pick up a daffodil and give it to me. Like it, but then
What?
every time you turn around, you need me to give you everything that you telling me that you need. Wait a
Yeah.
minute. So the relationship is just about you. It's just about making sure that you got what you need. So AKA second
Yeah.
red flag, if you dealing with people that's selfish slash borderline narcissistic, red flag, you need to step away. Go ahead, Miss
Bye.
V.
Run for the hills, y'all.
Red flag number 3. Go ahead.
Listen, if they don't, you know what I used to do? I'm saying even recently, I started them off with an A. That was a big mistake. No, start them off with an F.
And let them
Don't
work their
believe
way up.
nothing. Don't believe nothing a person say until they let them talk. Don't
Mm-hmm.
believe nothing they say until you see it. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, because they'll tell you, they'll speak the world to you, and they might give you a little here and there, but time will tell
Mm-hmm.
if they're truthful, if they're a man and a woman of their word is very important.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that they keep their word and
Mm-hmm.
that what they said is truthful, because people will lie.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes in my age right now, I used to be like, I'm saying with it. I was like, well, why would they lie at my age? I don't think, why wouldn't they?
That part. That
If they
part.
can get what they want, I heard this guy say, if he said good people want bad people, bad people want good people too. So
Mm-hmm.
they'll do whatever they need to do to get you. They'll ruin you to
Mm-hmm.
get you and throw you back out there.
Mm-hmm.
But you all make sure they are a person of their word, that they're not a liar.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure they're a truth teller, and that comes with time and watching.
Mm-hmm.
Don't even if they like I learned too. Like sometimes you might tell them like, you shouldn't do this or that. Let them show you who they are. Be patient. Don't even say nothing, because if they're disrespectful or something like that, and you watch them doing disrespectful things, they're showing you who they are. They're showing you who they are. Let them show you, and then address that. And if it's not right and they don't do right, move on. But make sure they tell the truth. Don't believe what people say. I don't care how good they appear to be.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, listen and watch what they do.
Let me tell you what she's saying. Slow down some.
I love
Slow,
you.
slow down some. Cause y'all be
Yes,
looking at folks, and just cause they look good and they saying what it is that you want to hear, need to hear, and it's been a
yes,
long time since somebody said it like this, touch me like that, talk to me
period.
like this. Then you start listening with other parts of your body that ain't your ears, and then next thing
Ma'am,
you know, you done jumped into something that you can't jump out of so easily.
no,
So what she's saying is, men close your wallets, women close your legs, cause then if you're able to do that, you'll be able to listen with the ears that God gave you. That's what she's
yes,
trying to say. She trying
that's
to
what I'm
just save yourself, because a lot of times you get in there, and then because ain't nobody never did you like that. See, let me tell you something
saying.
else. What ends up happening
You,
a lot of times, if we allow ourselves to see, we will notice that we've actually been in dysfunctional relationships. Because if the fact is that you can't be with somebody for 3 months without sleeping with them, if you can't
yes,
be with somebody for 2 months, and you don't know what it's like to not be hollered at, to not be
yes.
in an argument,
Oh,
then
yes.
maybe you ain't been in the right type of relationship. But because this is one of the
Oh,
things I tell my girls all the time, I say, let me tell y'all something. And my girls, like I have a 14-year-old, but my three are older. They 17, 18, and 20. And that's how I say, look, ideally, yes, mother would love for you to wait until your wedding day before you have sex. Realistic,
ideally,
realistically, y'all
yes,
beautiful and you built like your mama. And so I
yes,
understand that if you were a dude, then y'all gonna be talking. I said, but let me tell you
yes,
something. Wait for about at
wait,
least 6 months before you try
yes,
to do anything, because going back to your point, that time helps weed people out by themselves. A
it
lot of
does
times you ain't gotta say nothing. All
nothing.
you gotta do is just wait, because they love
Wait,
you so much that first day, that first week. But after about,
yes,
girl, and with these new school dudes, you ain't
yes,
gonna wait for 3, 4 months. They not finna
no,
keep on chasing you after
they
two, 3 weeks. If they don't like you for real, they got other people that's talking back to them. So again, this is what I'm telling y'all, and what me and Vita are telling you guys. If for those of you who are wanting a real relationship, don't be so desperate that you ignore the red flags. Stop making excuses for the red flags. I believe it was Maya Angelou who said, if people show you who they are, then you believe them. You believe them. And so many times that's where we go to the left. We want to make excuses for what they're showing you. They showed you that self-centered. Oh, she was just, or he was just. They showing you that they narcissistic. Oh, well, it was just a bad day. They showing you all these red flags that we just got finished talking to, And a lot of times this is where we find ourselves. So we're just telling you all to be careful. In a nutshell.
If I can interject one more thing that I like to is make sure a person is where they should be. Don't be a builder bear. Don't be a Bob the Builder. I call a Bobette the Builder.
Girl,
I've done that. Don't be a Bobette the Builder. Make sure they confident. Make sure they doing something with themselves. And if you come in, that now you building each other up from that. But don't be a person's foundation and you build them up.
Girl.
And you build them up, and now you gone. Most of the time, you build these men up or these ladies up that ain't got nothing. Even women, they don't have nothing. They don't have nothing going for themselves. You come in and you make them feel good about themselves, and you doing all that. Make sure people are at a certain level, especially men, because it's people. Well, women too. Because there's people out here that's looking for sponsors and looking for people to make them feel good about themselves.
Did you say
they listen? Make sure they're confident. Make sure they're building. Make sure they're doing something. Don't date people in a low state in their life. If they don't have nothing, they probably going through a hard time. Let the family help them, or find a friend. Let their friends help them. But I'm telling you, I've done this 3 times, you all. And I'm just getting it. I'm just getting it. And I'm not even talking about them. I'm talking about me, though. This is my responsibility to myself now. That I look at those things, that I don't judge people, because like I said, I was brought up in church. So I'm thinking with a different mentality. No, I got a better understanding. They're going to be at do not be Bobette the Builder.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you what she said.
Break down, Mr. Neal.
She said, stop marrying people and getting with people looking at their potential. Oh, because she could be, he could be, it might be, baby. If it ain't, like, yes, there is a thing of, like you said, encouraging folks, because a lot of times people are not where they are. And again, we all need encouragement, right? Like, we've all leveled up. Like you said, we're in our 40s now. We are not who we were in our 20s or in our 30s. So over time, people evolve. That's natural. That ain't what we talking about. We talking about if he was on the corner selling drugs when you met him. Don't talk about, and can I add in, and he 35 or 37. Now look, if he was 15, 16, Paul said, when I was a child, I spake as a child. But then, as I became a man, you got to put away childish thing. I don't want to see no dude that's in their 40s with their pants hanging below their butt. I don't want to see a dude that's in their 40s smoking weed. Like, to me, those are age-defying things. Like, that's how
they should know what they want that now. They shouldn't be playing with you in their 40s and their late 30s. No, they still immature.
Because if you're not building already on your own, then that means you finna be taking some of my blocks from me. Exactly. Like, I've been working hard to build.
They're gonna deplete you.
Would you?
They're gonna deplete you.
Girl, and ain't nobody got time for that, y'all. So again, this is why we trying to tell y'all, like, don't be in such a hurry for companionship that you end up hurting yourself. And let me just throw in this last one, and this is free, because I just told somebody this in a counseling session. Being whole, because people say, well, it's not fair to say that you shouldn't be with somebody if you're not whole. I said, no, that's the exact truth. I said, there's a difference between being whole and being complete. Can I say that again?
Yeah.
It's a difference between being whole and being complete. So yeah,
Yes.
you can say, okay, when you get in a relationship with somebody, you should be whole, meaning you
Yes.
should not still be broken, meaning you should still
Yes.
with somebody else, meaning you
Yes.
shouldn't be in a place where you are mentally unstable. So, like,
Yes.
get yourself together. A lot of times people don't like to
Yes.
date themselves, they don't like to spend
They
time
don't.
with themselves. So it's like,
They
I'm
don't.
just going to go to another and another and another, and you
Yes.
haven't even
That's a
healed
mistake.
the first time. So being whole means you done took some time to spend with you
Yes.
to figure out what my broken pieces are.
Yes.
Let me fix
Yes.
me. So then that way I
Fix them.
realize that maybe I've been dysfunctional. I realize that
Yes.
maybe I'm needy and clingy. I realize
Yes.
all these different and
Clingy and needy.
work,
Yes.
work on
We
fixing
be
those
needy.
things. Come on.
Yes.
Work on fixing those. And then once you
Yes.
get healing, sometimes can be a lifelong journey. However,
I
it's
agree.
different things that you healing. So it's certain
Yes.
relational things that you want to
Yeah.
be whole before you come into a relationship. And then if you're
Yes.
whole, and then you find the other person that's whole, that person very well
Yes.
may complete you. Y'all two can
Yes.
come together and y'all can work together.
Exactly.
But to go back to
Yes.
the point, because if you come into a relationship and you're not whole, guess what happens?
Yes.
As you start to get whole, you start seeing
Yes.
with different eyes. So when
Yeah. You
he
start
looked good
separating.
when you was broken. When you get
Yes.
whole, wait a minute,
You see something different. You
what?
like, why?
You? When did that happen? That's
You
what I
don't even
do.
like them anymore. Because
Because
that's
you
not
don't
the person who yeah.
come on, say
Who
it.
you know, that's not the person you're not you know this new thing about trauma bonding.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we trauma bond, you know, and then once you one get healed, that's not even you're not even in that same place anymore.
Yep.
So you
Yep.
don't even like him. Like I didn't like the person that he was. I liked the person that he was at first because he was different. No, I didn't. No, this is not who I met.
Mm-hmm.
This is not who I met. I loved them. I still love them, but because I grew up, but this is not who I fell in love with though. So
Mm-hmm.
then when you don't take your time, because I jumped in there, now you with a stranger. But
Mm-hmm.
this is who they really were
Mm-hmm.
already.
Mm-hmm.
They just came out. The real person came out.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like that, like you breaking it down real well. I'm glad. I'm glad
Look,
that
let me tell you,
you
girl,
listen.
and this
You
was
know what?
this was great experience before you do your actual launch tomorrow.
Yes,
But this is what I'm saying, because when we go back to the whole us being traumatized or not healed, when you
yes,
get with a person, here's the thing: the person might actually be who they are, but because
yes,
you are no longer who you were. See, you were attracted to who they were based upon who you were. But the problem
exactly.
comes when you are no longer that person, but
That
they
person.
still are. So now I done
Yes,
got whole, but I realized how broken I had to be
I
because
was.
I'm like you. Because there's
I
no
was
way in
broken.
my whole state that I am
I
attracted.
would have did that.
Do you see what I'm saying?
No,
So it's like,
I
Lord,
wouldn't have.
can I get a
I
do-over?
was broken.
And
Exactly.
the Lord said,
And you
well,
know the do-over gonna start with yes. The do-over gonna start with me.
that's
Now, why did you attract or you keep attracting this same kind of person? Now it's your responsibility. Is if you keep getting being around the same type of person, if you keep getting in the same situation, what are you doing to draw them people to you? Are like you said, are you needy? Do
yes,
you want a project? Some women feel good trying to fix people up.
yeah,
That's their mission, and that's not healthy.
yep,
That's
yep,
the way. That's a low self-esteem thing. You need to get your self-esteem up because you want to feel good about yourself because you pouring yourself into other people, but you're not pouring you are not poured into.
my God,
They don't fall in love with you when you do. They fall in love with what you do for them. What you do for them, you all. That's why you got to take your time. Listen, it be good people and good men that's being tore up and messed up. And now when you come out, you torn to pieces. Now
mm,
you got to put yourself back together again. If you do that, so when some come that's really real, you don't even know how to react to that. You're
mm,
not even ready for it because you're allowing yourself to be torn into pieces over here, over there, over there. I heard this man say, yes, you're supposed to nurture, but not everybody. You ain't supposed to A man said, I said, brother, I wanted to give him a bath through the phone. He said, you ain't supposed to nurture every man that you with. Let them earn that. You all listen to some of these people. We listen, them were closer to our big brothers. And then you know what I heard this one guy said? He said, these men will break you and they won't like who they broke you into.
My God.
Now they liked you before. They like because you was confident and stuff, but they know they gonna do things to break. They know they breaking you down, and now they don't want to do no. They don't want nothing to do with you because they calling you insecure because they are cheat, but you insecure. How you insecure when you are cheating or you disrespectful? You how? They know what you doing. That's why. But they'll try to turn that stuff around on you.
Yeah.
So don't let nobody break you. You got to be important to then your emotions. We got to get these emotions in check. You got to get your vajayjay in check, and you got to see what you're dealing with, and you got to get you in check. You got to get your traumas in check. You got to love yourself first. Respect yourself first. Then you'll get people that respect you. And you got to know yourself and be honest with yourself. I had to be honest with myself at this age, you all. I lost even a friend that I thought was a friend was not a friend. I'm losing. I lost a kind of a friendship and a relationship. You know, because I was dealing with people like me. I'm thinking they got a good heart. Everybody is not like me.
So true.
And I'm right now. Everybody is not like you. They don't have a good heart like you. So you got to look at people for who they are. It was hard for me to accept them. You know, I'm like, no, God. And I know I was getting some, no, they not like that. They not like that. And they sure was. They sure was. So I'm learning devil things, but that's okay because it's preparing me for my future. It's preparing me for so I can tell others. And so when my time comes again, that I know what not to do, that I'm getting myself in order so I won't be falling that same trap. That's what it's all about. You might fall, but don't stay there. Get up, dust yourself off, and take responsibility for your own actions. Stop blaming other people. Stop giving your choices to people. Like if you don't stop cheating, this another. If you don't stop cheating, just leave me alone. That's crazy. Why would he if he could still get what he? No, he's not. You got to make that move. I don't care if it's family, if it's friends, if it's at the job, if they're not serving you any purpose, let those relationships go. If it's not serving you any good, be good to yourself. Be selfish in that way. And I love how you doing your girls. I've been hearing you and listening to you for a minute. And I say when you said I was on it. I was on it. I said yes. Because I love your message and I love the wisdom that you use. I watched you and I know because I'm a church kid too. And I know you're a PK kid and you use wisdom in dealing with people. You don't throw your religion in there. It's like you throw it in there in a wise way. And you're able to interpret it to them in a way that they can understand without throwing. And that's what I want to do. I want to do it in a wise way because people tired of church because the way church is looking they are misrepresenting horribly. Horribly. So we got to be wise in our message because the message of morality is just not church. You should have morals. Just have morals. Don't let the TV and these people that don't care about you tell you how to be with your own body. Don't let these rappers these rappers is in relationship. These girls that telling you to go throw your body around, they are at home with their man and their kids. They ain't even in the club. While you in the club and you let Sam, Paul, Peter, Susan do all this stuff they telling you to do, and they not even doing that. Absolutely. We gotta do better with ourselves. You gotta care about you.
That's good.
Care about yourself.
Yeah. And that is actually the perfect note to end on. Look, y'all, if you want to hear more, my girl is launching her own podcast tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. You guys can go. She's going to put in the chat the website where you guys can go and you can find her. But it's going to be Vita Talks, 6 p.m. Where she is going to be launching. And we've had some real talk with y'all. This is Inspirational Talk, the real talk edition. And so I want you all to go.
I love it.
her. And so I just want to thank you all so much. And thank you to Miss Vita for coming on. I believe so much that she is going to be very successful in everything that she is doing. She's doing a great job already. But I want to just again say that if you would like to be a guest on the show, be sure to send an email to Toneal Jackson at yahoo.com. Again, we interview everyday people. So no, this is not the show if I'm an author. Like if you are an author, you could come on, but it's not just for entrepreneurs. It's not just for a certain title person. You don't have to have any titles at all. This is simply about people who are making intentional choices to live their best lives and be their best selves. And so if you have a message that you would like to share, then feel free again to, we are constantly taking guests. As you see, we are bringing on people because it's about that everyday people who have messages to share to encourage and inspire others. So send that email to Toneal Jackson at yahoo.com. Also, if you'd like to know a little bit more about me, feel free to visit my website at mynameis.toneal.com. And if you've liked what you heard, then feel free and you can cash at me $ my name is Toneal, because this is what I do, guys. We are always trying to find a different way to educate and empower others. And of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you to go to my podcast, Educated and Empowered. I'm going to update that website for you because right now Anchor has been taken over by Spotify, so it is Spotify for podcasters. I know that was a lot, but all you have to do is stop and rewind or stop and pause it to write down all of that information. But you guys can find my podcast, Educated and Empowered, on Spotify for podcasters, iHeart, or in the other streaming platforms. But I want to thank you all so much for tuning in. Again, another huge thank you to my guest, Miss Ovita Ivey, and be sure to tune in to her podcast tomorrow for her launch of Vita Talks. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and until next time, you all stay inspired.